want to move into talking about AK Psi and talking about what we learned in that experience. And in one of my previous podcasts, I talked about how being in the drama club was one of my most formative experiences in high school.
Yeah, I listened to that. that was a good podcast.
Thank you. I think second was probably being part of AK Psi. For people who don't know what AK Psi is, it's Alpha Kappa Psi. It's the world's largest professional business fraternity. I was the recruitment chair. I was the parliamentarian. I was the vice president of membership as well. So that was probably my first time being in an environment where I was given responsibility, like leadership responsibility. So making decisions on behalf of an organization, bringing people in, coming up with campaigns. The meetings that we had almost felt like we were in a Congress, like with the pros and cons and like making decisions, voting, all those things, dealing with different personalities, people who really took the organization serious, like almost they felt offended if you did something and they took it very personal. I think there was so much to learn about that, and that's actually where we first met. I think we met at like a ice cream social.
Yeah, it was frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurt, right?
Right there on what is it, McCulloch?
McCulloch, yeah,
next to the Publix.
Yeah.
And
I think at that time when we first met, I think maybe I saw you around campus, but I think just my my impression of you was like, there's this cool kid who's like come and be part of AK Psi, and then you joined, and then I think we clicked immediately.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah, I would love to hear what your experience was with AK Psi and just what has been the impact for you to this day.
Yeah, AK Psi definitely left a big impact on my life, and what I gather from it a lot is a lot of transferable skills. For instance, I mean, as an attorney, part of my job is sometimes to sell because, or our firm actually, we do things a little differently. I don't know if all firms do this way, but whenever you call a law firm, most of the times you don't speak to an attorney first time. Usually speak to either a paralegal or maybe like an answering service or somebody that you're not going to get advice from right then and there. So us, we do things a little differently. As soon as you call, you get a receptionist, and then they put you through an attorney for a consultation immediately. So the first person the second person I guess you get to speak to is an attorney. And that conversation is basically selling as well, because I have to basically make them understand that I know my stuff, understand where they're coming from, understand their needs, and also tell them, like, basically explain to them how I can help them and sell my services to them, but in a way where it's not like hire me. It's not like
it's not a pushy salesman.
It's not a pushy salesman. I don't want that. I don't need your business. I would like to help you, but I want you to want me to help you.
Right.
So a lot of that, it comes with, you have to have some charisma. You have to know how to speak and how to also listen. How to listen is very important. So during AK Psi, I know that was part of the process. Is you're tabling every week. That was a fun part of it, because at first I grew up pretty shy. Like when I was younger, I was very shy. I'm still a little shy now every now and then, but I grew out of it even more when actually I grew out of it first. I started growing out of it when I learned how to do ballroom dancing. Really? Back in was it junior year in high school? Okay. I started ballroom dancing, and that was fun. And I still know how to do a lot of the moves. I'm sure you see me on the dance floor a couple times breaking down salsa, merengue, and all that stuff. And of course compa as well. But AK Psi also made me come out of my shell even more, because now I had to force myself to go out and speak to people and just walk up to a random person and start having a conversation. And
I feel like tabling was underrated. Like it was something that I don't think many people wanted to do, and we kind of had to sign up, and it became mandatory that each person had to do a certain amount of hours throughout the week. But like, as you're talking about it, I'm realizing how much it brought us out of our shell, and it helped us become salesmen to the point of like, you're not trying to sell something, you're trying to sell the passion that you have for the organization that you represent, which is completely transferable.
Yeah. And it's not at that point. It doesn't even feel like you're selling. You're
Right.
just like, hey, this is what we're about.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just talking about, what my club is doing here,
Mhm.
and if you want to join,
Yeah.
come through. So it's the same process. Yeah, it's that was part of it, and also working with people, dealing with people,
Mhm.
different personalities as well, like you mentioned earlier. All of that is transferable to things that you're doing in the
Mhm.
workplace as well. You have different groups, different different tasks that need to be completed,
Mhm.
and meetings that can get annoying sometimes too. How to structure the meeting, make
Mhm.
it, so that we're not
How to
wasting
run
time.
efficient meetings. Yep.
Exactly, that's
Yep.
very important.
Yep.
You don't want to just sit there and have conversations and then an hour goes by and you only get one thing done.
Yeah.
No, you should have it a program, have some sort of schedule of
Mhm.
itinerary,
An
which we're
agenda.
going to talk
Yep.
about, an agenda, which
Yep.
we're going to talk. I don't know, I can't think about that word, agenda. Yeah.
I think another really big part of AK Psi was the interviews that we did.
Oh yeah.
So every pledge, like within the pledge class, they had to interview every single brother,
Mhm.
and that's another example of we pretty much learned how to get to know someone deeply in an initial meeting.
Yep.
So like I don't remember if it was 30 minutes or 45 or an hour, but like literally you're interviewing with 100 people, and you have to understand like their motivations for coming to college. You have to understand their passions. You have to understand their career aspirations. And when you go through all of those reps, it just makes you even more prepared in the future for networking, for like getting to know someone and connect with them very quickly.
Yeah. No, definitely. And till this day, I still network now, and I still use those same things.
Yeah.
The same concepts when I'm networking, and part of it is, while you're learning about someone, it's also good to connect them together with other people as well. So it's a good skill to try to remember certain things about people, so that when you're introducing them to somebody else, hey, this is such and such. He does, crafts beers at home sometimes. You should, talk about that, whatever.
And then also the admin part too is like, even before having those interviews, we had to email them to set up the interviews.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. It's like, hey, here's my availability. I'd love to connect with you, such and such. We had a lot of preparation with building out our resumes, writing cover letters, writing down what our vision and our goal was for our lives. Like literally there was so much that we learned about AK Psi, and I personally feel like it was a blessing that I stumbled on AK Psi organization, because a lot of my best friends came out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. It organized your life essentially, or it forced you to put yourself. Until this day, I still, because I remember I used to like have a calendar here and there, but not really be strict with it. But in AK Psi, kind of part of it was creating a calendar. I think I don't remember if there was, or if I just had to do it because
we were so busy.
Yeah, we were so busy.
We had so much juggling, so much.
To this day, I still use a calendar, like a Google Calendar. Everything is on my Google Calendar. From what time I wake up, what time I go to the gym, what time I go to work. All of that is on my calendar, so that if somebody wants to, hit me up and hang out with me, I'll just let me check my calendar, and I'll put them in like this.
They wouldn't think that
meeting-
you're pretentious. Like, oh, can you pencil me in?
Yeah. Let me check my schedule.
Let me check my calendar.
No. Like even today, this meeting I put on my calendar, and I try to be as detailed as possible. Put the location, the time, so that I know exactly where I'm gonna be when I need to be there, and who I'm meeting with.
Success should be you comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. You can't compare yourself to Oprah, or you can't compare yourself to Issa Rae or all these other people, because each one of them have their own unique journeys, their own unique experiences, their own unique upbringings.
Let me teach you this. Success is not how far you got. Because, see, you're going to be disappointed all the time. Because somebody always further than you. So now you'll forever be disappointed. Success ain't how far you got. Success is how far you got from where you started.
Their path from start to finish is different from where you started and where you finished.
That's your success. That's yours.